All right, welcome back to my channel. My name is simply Aretha, or Aretha Greatrix. I'm an Indigenous filmmaker, content creator, and streamer. I stream on Twitch about 3 times a week. Sometimes I'll stream on Noise, YouTube, TikTok, all those fun things. But if you ever want to find me, just go to simplyaretha.com, which is my beacons link place that has all my information, all my links, anywhere you can find me, anything that I post is there. Yeah. So this is day 13 of the non-vlog along. And the question today is, name a movie, game, or TV show with Indigenous representation that you enjoy. Now, I decided that I'm going to do one of each because I had a hard time narrowing it down already. And even then, I feel like each one of these I could do top 5. Like, I'm already all over the damn place. So I've decided that I'm going to just narrow it down to one, but I'm going to do one of each. And as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Subscribing really helps me on my channel. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. I'm more than halfway there, so thank you so much again to everyone who supported, watched the video, liked, comment. If I'm behind, I am gonna go through and usually comment on everyone's videos. I do have multiple channels though sometimes, and I also have like other things going on, so I don't always watch them every day, but I do try to make a point of at least checking to make sure that there's comments and responding to them. So thank you so much. All right. Also, we have a whole group of people that are doing the non-vlog along. So all the links are down in the description. Please go give them a like, comment, or a follow, or subscribe to their channels. Subscribing is free. It like literally costs you nothing. So I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to everyone and support Indigenous voices for this Native American Heritage Month. Yeah, and also some people might be a little bit later to uploading vlogs. I know I might be one of them because I think I'm a little behind right now, to be honest. So if you can, yeah, continue following them and watching their videos, even if they come out a little bit later. And of course, in the link, there's also a card there, which has everyone's information, links to their playlist for all their videos. And I've been doing daily playlists for each of the videos. So like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, because there's 14 days in total, you know, all that fun stuff. Anyways, to the video. All right, name a movie. So the movie that I'm going to choose, and it was so funny because I was having such a hard time trying to decide what movie that I was going to choose. And I think I settled upon, because I was actually talking to my mom about this, I think I'm going to settle on Smoke Signals. You just can't go wrong with Tried and True. And I think it's because for me, Smoke Signals, like, so I am an urban native. I grew up mostly in the cities. I have lived on a reserve for a short period of time when I was younger, but I mostly visited reserves when I was younger. Like I would spend the summers there. There are reserves around where I live. So, I mean, I've been to reserves. I've lived there for a short period of time when I was little. And for me, just the culture of living in there and just in the Indigenous community in general, like all the jokes, like you just get, you know, as an Indigenous person, you just get all the jokes, you know, the jokes about bingo, the jokes about the car. And I kid you not. Okay, so we didn't have a car that only went backwards, but we had a car that didn't go backwards. So at one point we had this big old boat of a car. Like seriously, it was like a hunkin' metal piece of car. Like it was an old car. Barely had seatbelts on it and didn't back up. So the only way for us to back up the car is someone would have to get out and push it back. And this is when I was a kid. So sometimes it'd be like all of us going, like my mom would be like, hey, we got to back up, get out. And all of us kids would get out, we'd push the car back so we could go back. It would only go forward, it wouldn't go back. So like I said, there's a joke about a res vehicle or a resmobile. And yeah, there's so many jokes about it, but you know what I mean? Like you have to know the culture to understand what we're talking about, or just the jokes. And for me, Smoke Signals has all of those jokes in it. And like even like the embellishing of a story, like it is just too hilarious and funny. Hey puppy. There's my dog, Sir Didymus. Let's make a cameo. Hey Sir Didymus. Where's your toy? Where's your toy? Anyways, so that is my pick for a movie, is Smoke Signals. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it. So that's the movie. The TV show, you know, I was trying to decide which TV show I wanted to do, and I settled on Rutherford Falls. I loved Rutherford Falls. I am so sad that it got canceled. It did center around Ed Holmes, who I think was one of the creators of the show. And he played like the main character. But I think it's important that even in the story, they had like the story about like Indigenous people. Like we also wanted to um, like we build economies, we do stuff, like we actually like are trying to do so many, we're in our communities, we're doing so many great things for our communities. And I think Rutherford Falls is really awesome. I mean, even with the whole museum and then the whole thing about like, hey, like, hey, we want the land back. There were so many cool things, I think, in that show. I don't know if it was just ahead of its time or it just maybe just wasn't on the right network or people just weren't watching it or they didn't get what we were trying to say in it. And I always say we because I'm like, as Indigenous people, we're always trying to tell people things and they never listen to us. So I was like, whatever. But so yeah, but if you haven't watched Rutherford Falls, it is really awesome. Let's see. Two lifelong best friends, Nathan Rutherford and Reagan Wells, find themselves at the crossroads quite literally when their sleepy town gets an unexpected wake-up call. So again, like I kid you not, like it is so funny. It has Jenna Schmeeding. Sorry, I'm probably and Ed Helms play like the two best friends, and like I swear it's like the best show ever. I love that show. I'm so sad that it got canceled, and I really wish like they would bring it back somehow because it was like the best show ever, and I loved it. I loved every moment. And Rutherford Falls, again, I think still would be my number one because I love it, even though it's not like done. Actually, it is. So it's Ed Helms and the other co-creator, I believe, was Sierra Teller O'Malley, who's Indigenous as well. So like again, it was one of those ones where it was like it was made. There was someone who is a key creative person who is making the show, and even in the writers, like I think Jenna was also a writer on that as well too. So I mean, like I think there was so many good talent, not only in front of the camera, but behind the camera and the creation of the show. So I really, 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 really love Rutherford Falls. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. All right, next one is Game. Okay, I totally did this backwards, but Game is my last one. So the game that I chose is called Never Alone. So Never Alone is a puzzler platform adventure video game developed by Upper One Games and published by Eline Media and first released in November 2014. It is a great thing. Again, this is another one that I always try to find examples of good games that are made by people. This game specifically was made by a non-Indigenous company, but they worked with the community. And so the cool thing about it is as you play along, you're not only learning things about this specific community. It's Alaska Native tribe, the Inupiat, and they collaborated with this community. And not only do you like play along and learn more about like their culture, their traditions, their stories, but once you play it and you get to checkpoints, you actually unlock actual interviews with the people from the community talking about those stories, talking about that community, talking about the land, talking about like their way of life. And it's really cool because like it's almost like instead of giving like achievements, your achievement is you get to unlock interviews with people where they talk about their communities, and I think it's really beautiful. I believe they're supposed to be doing number 2. I don't know where that is. I think it's still pending. I think specifically it's because the company who is working as their distributor, I believe that company has like gone under in some way or something like that. I'm not quite sure what the deal was there, but something is going wrong with there's an issue with their distributor right now, and it's not from them, it's their distributor just in general. I think something's the company itself has an issue, and that was the distributor who was doing for Never Alone 2. So I feel like that has probably hindered the release of this game. So far as I know, it was being developed. There's no release date of it. It was announced. I know it's on my Steam wish list. I'm waiting for it so I can watch it again. The cool thing about Never Alone as well, you could also do co-op mode. I actually did co-op mode with another streamer, Red, who is a member of this community, is a new bit. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. So we ended up doing this game together, and we ended up talking about it, and we did a playthrough of this whole game together. So yeah, like I said, it's very awesome, and just like so much information, so much about the culture and the people. And this is a great example of when games are like, hey, I want to make this movie or this game or whatever about these people, and I'm going to work with the community. And it's very clear that like you can even tell in the content that's being made that it is made with the community, which is very specific, because I don't know about you, but I watch a lot of movies and games and all that stuff. Like I literally consume a lot of this stuff. And it is very apparent to me when it is done with a community and without a community, because it's just way information is presented, how it's presented, what information is presented. And I feel like you kind of start to see those little like those little differences, because we do, like, as Indigenous people, we have very specific perspectives of how we see the world, because we are very community centered. And so what we focus on, what we highlight, what we think is important is usually different than a Western society. So I feel like once you understand that, and you can finally see films and things done by other people that aren't working with communities, it becomes very apparent by how that information is presented. So Never Alone is definitely a game that I think that everyone should play, and I think it's really, really good. That is it. So tomorrow will be my last video for day 14. Again, thank you for watching, liking, comment, subscribe. You let me know, what like, have you seen or heard about any of these things? Comment below, like, what is your favorite movie for representation, your game, your TV show? Anyways, so thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.